So we've got an update on the update on the update on the update. What's going on? Deep breaths, deep breaths. This has got me literally tied up in knots. My stomach literally has knots in them. I can't sit down comfortably. I can't stand comfortably. I can't lay down comfortably. This woman is driving me nuts. So I'm in my second day of class, and I have my phone on silent like the good little girl I should be, right? And I noticed that I got an email, and I had emailed an attorney yesterday, so I wanted to see if it was the attorney getting back to me. No, it wasn't. It was the woman. You know, the one at the Auslander Bureau. I would so love to burn her and tell you her name, but I'm not going to. I'll take the higher road. Yeah, I'll take the higher road. So what is she telling me? She's telling me to get out of the country again. Isn't that sweet? So what she says is that for me to have a language student visa permit, I have to be enrolled in an intensive language course. So the paper I sent her originally that detailed the course that I've already paid for, at the very top of the paper says intensive Deutsch Kurse. I don't know how more intensive it can be. She's telling me the minimum hours that I need to be in class a week is 18 hours. And according to my letter, I'm only doing, get this, 17.5 hours. Well, no, that's not what the letter states. The letter states that I'm doing 80 units a month. What do you do? I don't know. Do you know? She doesn't know math. I can do some basic math then now. So 80 divided by 4 is what? What is that? What? 20 maybe? 20 units equals 20 hours, and I'm required to be going to a minimum of 18 hours a week. How is that not compliant? I must have let out an audible gasp because everyone in the class, including the instructor, looked at me like, are you having a heart attack? That's one of the benefits of being the oldest one in the class. So I got up and said, Entschuldigen Sie bitte, and darted out of class while everyone was sitting there staring at me. The other fun thing is that the class looks out onto the courtyard, which goes towards the office, so they get to see this old-ass woman hoofing it extremely fast across the courtyard. Besides, it was also -4. -4. That's damn cold. So I make it across. Okay, so I'm across. I'm in the office. I come in. I tell the secretary the problem, and she says, no, you're doing 80 hours. I was like, well, I know that I'm doing 80 hours, but apparently she's saying I'm not. So I get out the email and I show it to the secretary. She tells me to go in and talk to her brother, who happens to be the manager, I think the owner of the school. I hand it to him, and he was not shocked. He's like, she's done this to us before. And he's reading, and the next thing I know, he's got my phone to his ear. He had hit the phone number link in the email. And he's telling her, no, she has prepaid. She is in intensive language course. She's doing 20 units a week, 80 units a month. She said, well, that's not what the paper said. And the man says, no, the paper said that she's doing 80 units a month. 80 units a month is 20 units a week. Well, the paper has to say that. Why? Because she can't do math? So he writes up a new paper, and I think everything's good. Okay, he doesn't tell me exactly what was said on the phone, but he hands me the paper and he says, you should be good. Of course, me, I didn't even think, because I'm already, because I haven't slept and my guts are all churning, and I'm like so pissed off at this woman that I neglect to say, hey, do I need to send a copy of this new letter? So an hour later, I'm out of class, and I'm driving, and I did the one thing you're not supposed to do in Germany at all. But I did it on the slide, so you couldn't even see. And I used the speaker on my phone. So I told my phone to call the school. It called the school, la 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 la, tra la la, as they say in German. And the speaker, he's like, hey, how can I help you? And I said, hey, do I need to send this paper to this woman? And he's like, I don't know. I was like, well, then I'll just do it for shits and grins and see what happens. So I get home and I tell the family friend what had happened, and he's like right on top of it. So that started the whole thing. It takes me an hour to send out a 1-paragraph letter that says, I'm sorry for the confusion. Here's the new letter outlining the conditions of my class. If I can be of any help, please let me know. Yes, it took me an hour to write that. Why? Because the controlling man that is in this home wanted to read over it 6 billion times and tell me it was false. It's like, I don't care if it's false or not. The fact of it is I'm in class. So that means I'm learning. So that means this is not going to be grammatically correct. And she knows I'm in class. But then I started thinking, well, she knows I'm in class and she's being a total wench. She will not speak English to me, even though she's supposed to speak English to have this position. So, okay, fine. After the 20th rewrite, I sent it off. And I get another letter. It states, this could take 4 to 6 weeks. Please do not call, because this confuses the situation. Of course it confuses the situation. She can't even divide 80 by 4. So I won't know for another 4 to 6 weeks. But because I have it in an email that she's reconsidering, that means my due date for leaving is no longer valid. So I am in a holding position and do not have to leave until I have an official letter saying I have to leave. Is it a score 1 in my court? I don't know. All I know is at least I have 1 more month of school. And then we'll see what happens. Anyway, so there's my aggravating day. How is yours?